And good evening, everyone, and welcome out to Walk-Ons for a Thursday night. Can't hear you, Coach. Let's get you turned up there.
There we go. Now I'm in.
Now
I'm in.
Now you're business. Look, it's not a right start to a show if we don't have to make a few additions and run some buttons and all of that. And camera giving us grief, but the show must go on.
The show must go on.
Look, you'd think by week 6 of year 8 we'd have it figured out, or I'd have it figured out. 8. But I'm going to turn me up a little bit too. Can you hear over there okay, Nick?
Yes, sir.
Year 8. Can you imagine that?
Year 9, but yes, year 8.
Year 8 that we've been doing this. Can you imagine? I mean, it's a long way from the radio station little bitty room that we were in. Yeah.
Room. Yep.
That's right. So welcome out to Walk-Ons on a beautiful Thursday night. A little bit of rain came in today, but we'll certainly take it. I don't think it was enough to do anything, but we're going to talk a lot of Ash Trojan football tonight, Coach. And it's the second time of the season that I get to talk about more than just this game coming up. Before the season starts, I can look ahead at the schedule. But tonight, I want to look back at the first half of it, and then we'll look ahead at what the district, how it unfolds, not the teams, necessarily the games, but just the District 258 in its own. We'll look back at some of the surprises from the first half. We'll look at some of the things that you think maybe you got to work on, and we'll do all of that tonight before we get out of here.
Sounds like a plan. I'm in.
There you go. Big game this past Friday night for homecoming. You and I talked, and Nick as well, Thursday night when we were on the campus there about you had to go out there and start fast and do what you needed to do, and you guys did that right away.
Yeah. Got control of it in a hurry. I mean, it was just one of those games where kind of knew what you were getting into after watching the film and preparing you just knew what you were getting into, and so controlled the things that you can control. And I guess it was there where it jumped out pretty quick there in the first quarter, and then it's a matter of how long are you going to let the kids play, how long before you start rolling in as many as you can, because when you get to that 42-part margin, there's just not much game left with the running clock. With the rules since I guess this is the second or third year that we've been doing
that. That it's had a running clock brought into it,
and so just not a whole lot of game left at that point when you get to that 42-point gap. And
right.
So proud of the kids. Felt like we had a good week of practice, and that's kind of what we used it as is let's make sure we're going out here and making the week of practice what it needs to be, in spite of homecoming and all the festivities that are going on. And I think that we did that for the most part, and, got into this weekend and got ready for district play.
So let's look back a little bit because, again, and it's nothing against Green Oaks, but it was one of those games that probably won't be scheduled again, perhaps on there. Started 3 years ago when they had the kid, it was an LSU commit to start with, and their quarterback that was there to throw the ball all over the place.
Terrence, they were winning a bunch of games. And,
right.
Doing a great job. And, this is Coach's first year, and, anxious to see, how he gets it going and what he's able to do. And, but, yeah, I mean, it's just that's changed. We're at a different point than we were during those years. And so – onward we go, or whatever it is that they say, moving forward and working on the 24-25. I guess the vote on Tuesday, doesn't necessarily change.
We'll talk about that because there's a lot to unpack on that one. And I do want to talk about that vote that came up, and that was the select or non-select to keep things moving. But we'll unpack that towards the back half of this show. Because we'd eat up the whole hour talking about that.
A lot of people like to say, and I like to tell the kids this, and I don't know, before the night's over, people will say this, and it's a mindset thing. A lot of people are going to say, well, the season's halfway over, and I just kind of laugh at that. And I was telling the kids this week, for the people that are planning on heading somewhere, the season's just getting started.
Right.
It's halfway over. No, for some people, it's only a third of the way over. You're not even to the halfway mark. So
that's exactly right.
It's all a mindset. It's all an expectation. And I think the way that you talk is very important to the expectations that you have for yourself. And, as we've talked about in the past and, we'll continue to talk about, how rarely do you ever perform your own expectations of yourself? And, I think that's a thing that we've got to, continue to drill into the kids' heads of what their own expectations, what are they after, what's their goals, what do they want to accomplish. And, so as we get into this district play, season's just getting started.
I'm going to let y'all kick it around a little bit. I've got to look at one on here. I'm going to step out. Nick, you take it from here.
One of the positives, Coach, was you talked about the program kids who were able to, in the second half get in. Ray had a touchdown. Some other kids that, of course, we've been talking about Tristan Layfield and just how great he is. I mean, I know he plays and starts, but just talk to us about more or how many of those kids you were able to play.
Yeah, as we've said, the game goes fast with these new rules, getting as many of them in as you can. It's very, very difficult. But, to get Jacob Ray in, a senior who's been a program kid, busted his tail, never misses practice, never misses meetings, never misses summer workouts, just does everything you ask. And, those moments are, really, really great. Coach Donahoe was saying on the sideline, hey, we got to get Jacob in the end zone tonight. Hey, we got to, you want to reward kids like Jacob, and there's so many more, but obviously Jacob stood out on Friday night, and that's a memory that he'll, a bunch of kids have played high school football, over the last however many years we've been 100 plus in Louisiana. Only so many kids have scored a touchdown. He'll always be able to take that with him, and it's something that he earned. So, yeah, it's fun to get all those kids in. To try and get some of those young guys experience. But, we try and do a good job of scheduling JV and freshman games. So those kids are getting game action on Monday night. And, so we kind of treat it for what it is. I mean, Monday nights are a very important thing to us. And we're going to play, hopefully. We lost one. Hopefully our JV plays 9 JV and freshman games, and you get better by playing. So some of those kids get those reps on Monday nights when you don't see them on Friday night.
Something we were talking about just a second ago, you're talking about season being halfway over. You know what, Coach, for some programs, they're glad it's halfway over.
I mean, talk to the kids about that all the time too. Yeah. There's some people that are looking forward to the end. And,
right.
I think I've said on here, I know that we've talked about it within our program that, everybody at the beginning of the year, that's everybody's favorite time of year because it's new and it's fresh and it's exciting and it's, everybody enjoys the beginning of football season. But I've always told them that this is the time of year that is really my favorite time of year because, the newness is worn off and now it's about commitment. Now it's about self-discipline. Now it's about, what you're after and not necessarily trading the pleasure of the moment for, what your ultimate goal is down the road of what you're trying to accomplish and going out there, in the routine and still, stretching yourself, to make sure you're engaged because we were doing the same drills where, the flow of practice is you can just fall into routines, and if you're not practicing on purpose and you're not getting a rep, whatever it is, and you're not purposeful behind it, you're wasting your time with what you're doing. And so this is my favorite time of year when some people are looking for it to be over and trying to stress to the people in our program, coaches, kids, myself, all of us needed of this is the time where the ones that are heading somewhere are going to really dig in and begin to separate themselves from the ones that are just looking for it to be over.
Yeah, for sure. Is there anything going into week 6, and I don't want you to give any secret, is there anything from the beginning of season to now that has really surprised you, with the team, individual? Is there? Like I said, I don't want you to give any secrets out.
Yeah, I don't know that surprised. I mean, we knew it would take some time, getting it all to gel, and while you return a lot in a lot of places. I mean, the quarterback is new, and that's a huge part of what you do offensively, and defensively. While we did return, a couple on defense, just getting those guys. Where you get used to playing together and, the quality of competition that we've played early in the year, made that very challenging in those early weeks. But, they exposed some things to us and showed us areas where we better improve in a hurry. So I don't know that I would necessarily say, that anybody surprised me. I mean, you're with these kids so much, from the off season to the summer. I mean, it's for us every day, twice a day, it seems like year round where we're with them. So I don't know that I've been, surprised by any of them. Certainly excited for some of them that their hard work is paid off, and that they're getting rewarded for all the things they did behind the scenes. So just so much more. I mean, we've got so much more room for growth, and we're certainly nowhere close to peaking and playing our best football. We want that to happen in, this week, the coming weeks,
Sure.
where we just continue to put it all together, and certainly going to have to, with what's coming now that we're in district play.
Well, your schedule has prepared you. I mean, you've been on the road, for two of those really difficult games. Well, three actually. I mean, that was a great road test. I still think that's going to be a
one
team
where you look back and say, all right, man, got some positive momentum here against a very quality team, and just the manner in which you have to win it sometimes, regardless of whether you played your best. Hey, you're still in it here at the end. Make some plays down the stretch and let's win it. And certainly did that in that game, and kind of can be a launching point for us. So I agree with you on that. That's going to be one that I think is a quality win before the season's over.
Let's talk a little bit about how you talk about how Mondays and are so important to your program. Talk about what exactly happens on Mondays.
So the kids will be in. Got to be weighed in 7:13. I quit taking weights. If you're late, there's going to be some consequences for you. Coach OJ's sitting over there, and he handles that. And it's a you want a deterrent. If a kid's got a great attitude, he goes out there, busts his tail with whatever the punishment is. It's not about the punishment. It's about changing behavior and getting them to be on time. So the better the attitude, the better the effort, the quicker they get in there with the group. So the worse the attitude, the worse the effort.
That's right.
The longer you're doing it. But we're rolling in the weight room on Monday morning. I mean, we're getting in there, and we'll start with our dynamic warm-up and hurdle and hip mobility, hip flexibility, and then we're going to get in there and we're going to lift. So that takes us in the first hour, and then we don't bring the kids in on the weekend. We've done it a bunch of different ways over the last 9 years, but for us to get in there on Saturday and Sunday and really let us dive into the previous Friday night on Saturday, and then really spend the day on the things that we need to spend on Sunday. So it's our first opportunity. We're going to have some things. We're going to go to position meetings right after school. School bell rings at 2:30, and meetings start at 2:40, and we're spread out all over campus. Sometimes that'll be a group meeting, kind of depending on what we need to address, whether it's the whole defense or the whole offense or just individual. But most time it's individual meetings, and we'll begin to just cut it up and hit the high points of the things we did and things we did well, and the things we didn't. We'll pull them in the weight room and put it on film as an entire team. Some special team stuff, and then we're going to go out and probably get I say 12 periods. It's probably 12 to 14 period practice because we're playing JV and freshman games that night, and we've been.
So you play JV and freshman on Monday night.
Correct, JV and freshman.
Okay.
Either 5:30 or 6 o'clock, depending on who we're playing. And so this previous Monday night we played Ruston, and they came to us, so we were able to get a 12 period practice in with the varsity guys. Go out there, hit it, and then basically. The freshmen are getting dressed, and we're rolling right into a JV and freshman game. This coming Monday, we go to Ouachita. So, when the school bell rings, we'll be feeding them and getting on the bus and getting out of there. So we'll have to adjust that Monday schedule. Big day for us as far as physicality. We're to the ground on Tuesday afternoon, good on good, in a lot of periods, pretty much. From the second we get through with individual to the end, it's good on good, and it's to the ground,
And you've implemented what you want to do for that Friday? Or
yeah, I don't know that it changes a whole lot. I don't know. We have the athletic periods in the morning, so we're out there in the mornings too, and that's more of our, I guess if you wanted to say walk through, run through with offense and defense, but I was talking more after school on when we're in pads. And kind of depending on how Tuesday goes is kind of how we, all right, what are the things you need to clean up going into Wednesday? What are the things we need to address? What are the things we got to make sure we show them this a couple more times.
Right.
We made some mistakes the day before. We're usually not more than 18 periods on any given day, which is an hour and a half. And when I say periods, that doesn't include pre-practice and post-practice and all that stuff. But as far as on the period clock, we're 18 5-minute periods, and we're really not much more than that. We film every practice with a drone, every drill, so we're not out there walking and talking.
Right.
The goal is to get 2 reps a minute, and it's amazing the amount of reps that you can get in a short amount of time if you're out there working, not out there walking and talking.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we're going to go to break. We're walk-ons here, and there's still more time to come out. We have a good crowd, so come out and see us here at Walk-Ons. We'll be right back on 446 Sports.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin, an idea created by 2 walk-on bench warmers. And after 10 years of hard work and perseverance to turn their dream into a reality, it's the #1 sports bar in America.
Welcome to Walk On.
Walk-ons, because everyone needs a little playing time.
Is your vision just not as crisp and clear as it used to be? Are you having difficulty driving, especially at night? Are you over 40 and now needing reading glasses? If so, the trusted eye care team at Wallace Eye Associates is here to help with your family's eye care needs, just like we have been for nearly 40 years. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
It all started with a sketch on a
BK
napkin.
Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family. For all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, Apparel and Promotions in Pineville.
And we're back here now, and one thing that Nick has learned, scooch down this way a little bit, Nick, is the universal signal
man.
that means break, and that this would be, this is what they tell you to extend it, and that means break. So now we do that. But
I know that was really, he was hoping that I would see it was shut up, coach. We got to go break. And I'm fine with that. Sometimes you got to talk to me that way.
When the cat's away, the mice will play.
That's
so
right.
I was taking all the airtime I could.
he was getting it, but you can't lose your job for an injury.
That's
there.
right.
You
You
come
ain't
back
lying.
and do it. Not sure what you guys were able to talk about there. Did you look at the first half, or what did you guys look at while we were going? So I don't recall.
He talked about, surprises from the first half. I don't know that there were any surprises necessarely. Just,
All right, good. We'll get that out of the way. It's district time. That's what we've been talking
right.
about.
We did not talk about district.
No,
Look,
that jumps into
last night we did the show from Menard because Tom's out of town, and we're carrying along here, and Coach Perkins is here, and Coach Scully is there. And about midway through it, I turned my chair around, and both of them got scared. I said, show's just beginning
That's right.
now.
Now we're fixing to talk.
Yeah, now we're talking. All right, is there any way you would have rather started off a district slate than facing those Bearcats of Ruston? And let's just get out into it.
Yeah, I mean, as you've heard me say, countless times, just tremendous amount of respect for that program, Coach Ball, and the job that he's done, the style of football that they play, the grit and toughness and effort that is evident when you turn on the film. The people that they play week after week,
Right.
So no, not necessarily. I mean, it's a game that's been a really good game. They've got us, the majority of the time. We were able to get them that year at home in 2019, but we've been in the thick of it every single time, and it's
There's
just
been
coming to-
overtime games.
That's
There's been all of it.
It's come down to the fourth quarter a whole bunch, and we've got to get over the hump in that regard. And going up there, it's going to be a great atmosphere. They're going to have the music blaring and the jumbotron
Jumboing and
rolling.
it'll be
They're going to have the student section in the end zone like they do, and it's
and
just
the
it's a
homemade
great place
cookies
to
in the
play.
press box. I don't know if you're privy to that, but
I have not been in the press box, so I was in the press box at 2010's the last time I've been in the press box. That was before the turf, before the jumbotron, when I was an assistant at Bastrop High School when I was the offensive coordinator. And that's the last year I've been in the box. And
oh my goodness!
And I sure do. As far as calling offense from the press box is.
You don't like that?
You can see everything.
You're right.
It is awesome. But that's the last year. It's been a long time since I've been in the press box.
Speaking of calling offenses, our buddy Coach Ben McLaughlin and Buckeye put up another touchdown. Now it's 19-0 in that one. A couple of Thursday night games tonight as Tioga has went to Pine Prairie to play that one. So it's a couple of battles for Tioga teams, or for 4-4-6 teams, and we'll go from there. Pineville opens up with West Monroe in town. First time that West Monroe has came to town for them, and we talked about them a little bit earlier. So that pits Ouachita and West Ouachita doing battle. But, I mean, everywhere you look in District 2 5A, you better bring your game.
Yeah, some interesting matchups. I can't say I paid a whole lot of attention to any of them outside of the ones that we have, the one that we have right here in front of us. But, yeah, I mean, it's the opening of district, and this district's had a contender for a long time.
Right.
And, 2-5A traditionally has been Northeast Louisiana, and I was talking with our kids a little bit that through the years, and I guess when we moved to 5A, but from Ruston and Ouachita and West Monroe, and if you go back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, just for a long time,
right,
this has been a contender in the state's highest classification. Year in and year out, there's always been somebody from this district that's in the championship hunt, and I certainly think that's the case this year with a lot of teams in our district, and we'll see how it begins to shake out over the next couple of weeks.
What does it do for Ruston, an already solid Ruston team, with the addition of a coordinator like Todd Garvin coming on as well?
Yeah, got to see, shake hands with him Monday night. And, as we said back, I got nothing but respect for Todd and the football coach and man that he is, and he certainly, I know I don't have any doubt that he's bringing a whole lot to the table, and they certainly got better when you add quality people, you improve, and so they added a quality coach and a quality man, so they got better.
It's games like this that transcend your region as well. I was at a class down in Hammond for my day job Tuesday and Wednesday, and there's a guy in the class that happens to be from the Monroe area, and it is none other than Jared's big brother Dean that was in the class. And you see the name Ball, and he's from Monroe. I was like, I'm gonna figure this out. And after we had a meeting after class and talked a lot of football, and you hear some great stories from that side of it. So as great as the programs are around here, when you start sharing stories about that, and he starts talking about his kids and how they've grown up, it's great to talk that kind of football.
It unites a lot of things in a lot of different places, and that's the great thing about the sport, and that's the great thing about high school football is it just can, it's something that you can rally around, and that there's just a common cause that you can all believe in, and yeah, no matter where you are, even if you're in Hammond and you got a guy from Central Louisiana, North Louisiana, there's just shared interest and all that.
I may have overstepped things because I let him know about the 2-7-1 defense you're coming out in.
Yeah, no doubt.
And told him how you're going to go with 4 tight ends and 2 running backs. I might have told him reverses as well the whole night.
Doubt. Well, that's one of the best staffs. They certainly are going to have their kids prepared, and it's going to be one of those games that you love being a part of.
Nick, what have you seen on the film about this matchup?
I mean, really just solid discipline. They know where to be. They tackle. They go to the ball. Their 2 middle linebackers we talked about before the show, they're everywhere. Their defensive line, although they don't stand out to me as somebody who really gets up the field as much, but they hold their gaps. And then the back end, they're just solid. Now,
no doubt, and you got to understand that defensive line's being coached by a guy that played
exactly
13, 14, 15
Right.
years, whatever Kyle played in the NFL. So they're getting as good at coaching, and then the personnel. I mean, they're that front and that box. Just the whole defense is really one of the better defenses that is in this state, and from a personnel standpoint, from a schematic standpoint, and from a way that they play and what they're being coached to do, it's one of the better ones.
And oh, by the way, that's just week 1
Yeah.
of district. We'll take a look. Take us through your remaining district games.
So we're at Ruston tomorrow night, and then we'll come home. We'll play Ouachita next Friday night at home. Let's see here. That is the 13th?
Should be the 13th, yeah, which would make that week 7.
Yep. And then we go to Pineville for week number 8. We get West Monroe at home for senior night in week 9, whatever that date is, 27th, I believe. And then we'll close the season on Friday, close the regular season on Friday night at West Ouachita there in week 10. So
they're getting pumped up for that week 8 matchup. They're retiring Cody Ford's jersey
really?
that night, and so that's a week 8 matchup.
Certainly a guy that deserves it, I would assume.
Indeed, and so you get in, and I told Nick this. I said, Nick, and he's jumped in with both feet. I said he's enjoyed. He's calling it we when he's out there and loving that. I said after the game, after we finished up in the press box last week, I said you ain't seen nothing. Wait till district starts. 2-5A is a different animal.
100%.
Yeah.
It is a. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It really is. It's a lot of fun because, week after week, you got to be at your best.
And I was going to say I was looking forward to it when you were talking about the turf, the press box, and Jumbotron, but I couldn't say that because right after that you said the cookies. So Fat Boy couldn't say that right after the cookies.
Look,
but
they're probably one of the nicer facilities, and they've had some issues with it because they do the new press box, and then it gets blown away by the tornado, and they've spent the season playing over at Tech is where they played, and didn't get because we were here for that game, and then right back.
It's one of the great venues in Louisiana, just the whole, the way it's kind of, underneath, bowled in there in the one end zone, and you got the field house on behind the stands on the one side, and, they've done a great job with that stadium.
You told me back when this started 4 or 5 years ago, it was when the night that first met Coach Ball, I did. And you said it doesn't matter what the records are, doesn't matter the teams. You said these Ruston games are good games, and they've always been that way. You talked about the one that Baby D catches that one at the end of the game and goes to the house. So many great memories. What's one of your favorite memories of that Ruston Ash series?
I got a bunch.
Right.
The double overtime playoff game was a good one. The 2018 was – we had 2 in 2018 that were really good. We were up 28-19 at half, and they outscored us 21-0 in the second half in the regular season. That was 2018. Those have been some good ones. The one in 2021 was another good one, back and forth. And they pulled away in the fourth quarter, got a couple of scores, and got us.
That one got away a little bit quicker because there were some plays it could have been.
Yeah,
and I know
doubt.
it was one of those games that you look up at the scoreboard and you're like, what the heck happened there?
It was before Coach Ball was the offensive coordinator at Ruston in 2015. 2015 was a great game. Before we got all this started, my first year at Ash, when we had Matthew Beck, I don't know how many. It was a shootout that night. And, that one probably stings as bad as any of them through the year when we certainly had an opportunity. They ended up beating us on a 2-point play, 57-56 there at the end.
So I'm telling you, Nick, you better buckle in for this one.
Boy, that seems like yesterday.
It does.
It seems like yesterday. And then, those men, I guess I should say now.
Right.
I was about to say those boys, those men that I, coached that first year, thinking of, Jake Bellino and just so many of Parker and Matthew Beck and XT.
I'd have loved you. I'd love to see you have a couple
so
extra seasons with Beck.
I'd have loved. Yeah, me too.
That would have been something.
There's been a lot of great games and it's been pretty competitive. They whipped us pretty good. I guess it was in 2017. For the most part, I mean, it's a game that's, going to get pushed into the second half, and we're certainly going to have to play well for that to be the case tomorrow night.
How was Tempo Tuesday this week? How did everything go there?
Feel like we've had a good week of practice. I'm excited for 7 o'clock. I'm ready to go get in the thick of it and, see how, just the in-game,
We talked a little bit about this last week, Thursday night over at the stadium on there. The growth of that offensive line, and they were again on display this week, and at both sides of the ball. Your offensive and defensive coordinators, and I mean that in all positions, not just the OC and the DC, but have done such a great job, and you see growth from week 1 all the way to week 5. And the old cliche is, well, you make your most improvement from week 1 to week 2. I'd sit here and say that you guys have improved every week.
I sure hope so. I mean, that's what you want. That's who you want to be, as a program. That,
right.
Hey, man, they're always better. Hey, you better watch out. They're going to continue to improve. You don't want to draw them later because, they're going to fix some of those things. Their kids are going to continue to battle and stay in it. And, we certainly hope that's the case. And we talked a little bit, earlier that we're nowhere near being our best yet. We're getting better, but I just think the growth is, there's still a lot of room for growth and a lot of room for improvement.
A lot of football to go.
A lot of football to go.
Indeed. We're going to talk about it when we come back. We're going to take another break. When we come back, we'll get into all of that. We'll get into a little bit of the X's and O's, talk about some of our first half stats on there. And again, most of those stats are generated in the first half of those. We'll do all of that when we come back. You're watching the Thomas Bachman Show right here on 446 Sports.
I'm Jason Hall with Farm Bureau Insurance. Did you know that September is Life Insurance Awareness Month? Our team is here to educate about life insurance and help you make the right coverage choices with the right agent this month and every month. Taking care of your family can be simple and something you can do today. There's no better time than now to learn how life insurance can protect your family's financial security. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect what matters most.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
Time for our red, white, and cool summer event at Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. It's hot out there, and we want to cool you down with some great savings on your new AC unit. Right now, you could save on a new energy-saving system. No money down, 0% interest, and no payments till June 2024. Plus a 10-year parts and labor warranty. Just need a repair? We got you covered too, with $50 off any repair backed by a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Call Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing or visit us online.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
Looking for somewhere different different for lunch? La Bistro Coffee and Waffle Bar is a gourmet espresso bar and restaurant with an emphasis on Southern social experience, featuring a wide variety of salads, soups, sandwiches, and of course waffles. La Bistro has something for everyone and every lifestyle. Whether you are meeting friends, spending time with family, or hosting a private party, we offer a dining experience all will enjoy. La Bistro Coffee and Waffle Bar on Coliseum Boulevard.
Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family. For all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, Apparel and Promotions in Pineville.
And we are back live at Walk-Ons on a Thursday night. That can only mean one thing, that we are less than 24 hours away. Scooch down this way a little bit, guys. There we go. Watch, I can fix. Oh, that's the best it's looked when Nick went away. Sitting here with Bodie Van Dyke. You know him as number 25, one of the kickers on the football team. And welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to have you.
Look, so I know you and Coach Nick there hit it off pretty good there in the break because he's an old soccer guy as well. You're part of that Ash Trojan soccer team.
Yes, sir.
There. But, man, I'm going to tell you, there's been a long line of soccer players that have come off that soccer field and that are kicking on Saturdays in college football. Mm-hmm. So what does that what does it do to you? I mean, how long have you been part of the football team and playing?
I came to Ash sophomore year, and I joined, and I kind of helped out.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin.
Sophomore year, about 3 years,
Those onside kicks, dude, are amazing. Is that, I mean, how do you keep from just getting too excited when you know it's coming?
I don't know. I don't practice them either. Like
you got wait.
Say that, young
There's
man.
no way
You can ask Coach
that's
Russo.
that's the case.
I'd never practice them
Because I mean, you just find a spot. But of course, if playing soccer like you have, you can probably put the ball wherever you want to anyway.
Yeah.
Now you finally get to use your hands, though. How cool is that?
Yeah, I'm the designated ball guy.
That's right.
Yeah, but Coach Russo makes me, like, during the week, I have to watch their kickoff returns.
Right.
And pick a dude to kick the ball to.
Really?
Go watch if they
and
leave
so
early
that's
or,
the film.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like the old days of kickers that would get up there and just bring the bag of balls out with them and kick some field goals and then go to the locker room.
Yeah, we don't leave early anymore.
That's what I like.
Say the whole time.
And you've, Coach Nick, you've been around soccer your whole life on there. What are you seeing now as these soccer players and football players are kind of becoming one?
Well, one of the things that you have is that the soccer style kick, okay, you can it's more accurate, okay, you can hit it farther. I mean, the old toe style kick or kickoff that they used to do years ago wasn't very accurate. Now, if they hit it right, it would be, but the accuracy, but also their way that they're trained is they can hit the ball left, they can hit the ball right, and really place it where they want, especially on kickoffs, and then obviously on your onside kicks as well.
How about the physicality of it too? Because I mean, it's coming, and there, folks now line up expecting the onside kick every single time, and you know that there's going to be some banging around in there.
Yeah, it's different for sure than like the contact in soccer or anything like that, but my guys do a good job up front, blocking, leading the way for me, and it's really just me holding on to the ball at the bottom of the pile.
There you go. What about the relationship you and Channing Mesh have on there? How do you fuel each other in that little competition? I know you guys have.
Yeah, we're good friends. It's a lot of the time at practice, who's going to miss first,
right?
Who's going to kick it farther, stuff like that, who's going to make more in a row. So it's always a competition between us.
How does the kicking mechanic change? Because it drives Coach Nick crazy. He says, all here you're kicking it, trying to kick it high, and soccer you're trying to kick it low.
Yeah. Every time I go to soccer practice after football, I'm skying the ball, kicking it into the softball field, because it's kicking a football, it's like chipping a soccer ball. You know, you're trying to kick the football up as high as you can and as far as you can. Soccer ball, you're just trying to drive it like straight.
Tell me about that, Coach.
Well, his position, he plays center back.
Right.
So now Ash's soccer team, they like to.
Where's that?
A defender.
Okay.
In the
All
middle.
right, there you go.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
He plays in the middle, right in front of the goalkeeper, Doug.
So he plays in the center and in the back. What a great, no, I mean, that's it should be called what it is.
That's
That's
we
great.
call it a center back. So, but basically what happens is his position, now, Coach, Ash, they try to possess the ball, so they try to pass the ball as well. But in his position, it's a little bit easier to make that adjustment because a center back can hit a long ball, can hit the ball in the air, can drive the ball, where your forwards, we want it low. So when they come off, which is traditionally why your forwards don't usually make great kickers. Usually your goalkeepers, your defenders make great kickers. But I will say the thing that impressed me the most now, okay, is you have you as a senior, Chan as a junior, and then Fung, Eli Fung as a freshman. Okay, we never had that whenever I was playing, football. I mean, we had maybe one kicker, and then your backup was a linebacker that would put the steel-toe shoe on, after we scored a touchdown.
And go up there
and
kick it.
Right. So that's evolved.
What do you think after high school? What do you want to pursue?
Physical therapy.
Do you?
Go to LSU with my sister.
There you go.
Physical therapist.
That'll be cool. Any thoughts of soccer or anything down the road, or
adult leagues? I guess. I don't think I'm good enough.
Intramurals and go dominate them, huh?
Yeah.
that's right. Team had great success last year. What's it look like this year?
We're a lot older and more experienced this year. I expect us to go pretty far. Last year we had the first round knockout. It was unfortunate, but we're a younger team. We've got 3 years of playing together on our belt. We're all seniors. We have like 10 starting seniors, I think, this year. And a deep bench, very deep bench.
That transfers over to the football team as well. What do you see? How have you seen the growth? I know that you get excited. Look, I'm telling you, I've seen when you make plays out there, you're just as spirited as any one of those other guys that are out there. How is your growth with the team and the team's transition from week one to where they're at now?
It's every day going out. What the coaches put us through. It's not easy, and everybody does their job, does it right, and doesn't complain. So we all have that bond of we know what it's like.
Right.
We know it's not easy, and you just got to go out there and do what you got to do every day.
What do y'all do on Tempo Tuesday?
Inside. That's all it is. And then you do team, open it up 11 on 11. It's very quick, very high pace, a lot of reps.
Well, Nick, I think you had a couple of.
All right, this is just a side note. Who's the best quarterback out of you, Channing, and Fung?
Oh, definitely me.
Okay.
I played baseball growing up.
That's one of the things we would do. We'd punt the ball, and then whoever caught the ball, because we did have 2 kickers my freshman year, and we would throw it back, and kickers getting a lot of competitions, a lot of weird, competitions. Can we stop the ball? Can we bring it back? Can we hit it out at the 1? And punting is a lot more fun as far as that part. Fun. But I mean it's great to see that you're doing well, Chan's doing well. I hear Fung's doing well, so I'm glad that I get to watch you guys.
Yeah, Eli's pretty good. He's pretty good.
Well, Bodie, we appreciate you taking the time to come over here and visit with us. Great to meet you finally on here, and looking forward to big night. Tomorrow night's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, sir. I'm ready for it.
There you go. Bodie Van Dyke joins us here. You'll see him kicking the ball off a lot tomorrow night, and always keep an eye on there. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll get Coach Bachman back over here. You are watching the Thomas Bachman Show right here on 446 Sports.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
Is your vision just not as crisp and clear as it used to be? Are you having difficulty driving, especially at night? Are you over 40 and now needing reading glasses? If so, the trusted eye care team at Wallace Eye Associates is here to help with your family's eye care needs, just like we have been for nearly 40 years. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin. an idea created by 2 walk-on bench warmers. And after 10 years of hard work and perseverance to turn their dream into a reality, it's the #1 sports bar in America.
Welcome to Walk On.
Walk-ons, because everyone needs a little playing time.
BK Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family for all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, apparel and promotions in Pineville.
Big shout out to BU Designs. You saw that commercial there last, and making a lot of spirit gear for those Trojans, and gets one of those, oh, we got a game Friday night. Can you do that? And it's usually Thursday. And she sponsors our instant replay. So there you go. Coach, few minutes left in the show, and we just want to dissect Ruston just a little bit more for them. When you're there on offense, what are you looking at as you look across that Bearcat defense?
When we're on offense,
Yeah.
they're on defense.
Yes.
I mean, the personnel. I mean, I don't necessarily. I'm trying to think of how I want to jump into all that.
What do you see on their side of it that you're attacking?
Yeah, they're going to do what they do. They do a good job of mixing. They played us a couple of different ways through the years, and so trying to figure out exactly some of the things that they're doing early and how they're matching formations and. Who are the personnel that they're doing. I mean, last year we were very personnel heavy with some of the things that we did, and they played us certain ways when James Harrington was on the field, and they played us certain ways when he wasn't off the field, because that dictated a lot of the things we were doing formationally. There's been years where they've matched what is Tanner now and the H-back. I mean, they've done a couple of different things, but yet through all of that, they do what they do, and they do it really, really well. So they don't get too far away from what their, what their scheme is and all that. But they do a great job of taking away the things that you want to do really, really well. So figuring that out early, and then having the answers to it to take advantage or try to get some of the matchups that you want is the never-ending. Match that you're doing, within the game once you get to it, and so with, I guess, I don't know, saying a whole lot of nothing, trying to say something.
That's why join us Sundays for Coach Speak.
Sorry.
That's at 5:00 right here on 446 Sports. You'll hear a little bit more in depth. This is where the show all came about, because you're going to get that, but. Offensively,
I tried to give a somewhat of an answer. I tried not
to
just.
I would tell you, it's grown a lot over the last few years.
Yep.
You think getting stuff out of him now is tough. You should have seen it back then.
And I don't know. There's no secrets in football. The game of football is about execution. Everybody's got a thing or two here that they got up their sleeve, and things that situationally you're trying to pull out or take advantage of when you get certain looks. But for the most part, I mean. You do what you do on both sides of the ball.
Right.
They're going to line up, and they're going to play a 4-2-5 structure on defense, and the coverages. They got several coverages that they're going to play. They got several fronts that they're going to play within that. But from a personnel standpoint, they're going to base out of the 4-2-5.
JT wasn't in the game a lot last week. Of course, the game was what it was. Prior to that, had 3 weeks in a row over 150 yards. And his success came as you guys were wearing down the opponents, and he was getting those yards, getting stronger as the game went on. What do you see out of JT this week?
Going to need a strong performance. I mean, we're certainly going to have to commit to giving him his touches. And, we need a strong performance. We need more of the same of what we've had.
Over and under 25 to 28 carries. Where do you like to see JT running the football?
Yeah, that sounds like a great number. Certainly want him to get his touches in one of these games that you anticipate being a 4-quarter battle. Certainly going to have to, have his touches, and that all comes down to, you got to make first down so that you're running, a certain amount of plays on offense. You got to sustain some drives, and when you're able to do that, then you're able to commit to running the football and also get the other ones involved.
The word got out it was kicker night
that we have, and
one of the things that that before I started on this broadcast, that all I heard about Ash football was throw, fast, throw. But what I'm learning is the run is really, it's 50-50 almost balance, and then it seems like the run is what opens up. Although you're spread out, the run has really helped open up the passing game.
I would like to believe that we've done a pretty good job through the years of having the ability to adapt to the personnel that we have. And we've had really good running backs. We've had, there's years where we've been really deep at receiver. When we had Shield and Jermaine, we had, 2 tight ends that could really play. So it allowed us to be very multiple, some of those years. So, that is the perception, sometimes. But, sometimes that works in our favor because, when you can run the football, you can control the game. And that's certainly their style of play, Run the football, control the clock, play great defense, field position, vertical field position, short fields, because of the kicking game. And they've done a great job of that.
But that's such a good point, too, because don't be confused with the fact that the Trojans go tempo.
Right.
Because you guys are up to the line of scrimmage. And I think that gives you the ability to control substitution, control who's out there, see the scheme, and then make your calls from there. You're still going fast, but you're doing it from up the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, we have the ability to control the pace. And, the whole job of our offense is to be offensive.
Right.
You're trying to offend the defense.
Right.
So that's certainly been our plan through the years. And, I would think it's more of the same. I don't know how many – it's been a long time since we hadn't had a back go over, 1,500 yards, people.
And that's shocking from the outside when you see but when you're inside it, you just know that that's the style. I
wish I knew it off the top of my head. I don't know how many yards Richard ran for, XT and Kyle in that first year, Michael Worthy. We just had –
You've had a number of great. Chris Gray was so solid, just a big, solid.
Jarvis Newton.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
There's been, there's been a bunch of them.
And then you continue to get that because, like I said, JT just the junior, but then you put Jimmy back there,
got a lot of
and
confidence
he's gone.
Yep. And look, we got one right now that's a junior that, was playing linebacker. Last year as a sophomore that. Before his career is over,
is that Vaughn?
Is Vaughn?
Yeah.
He's played extremely well. He's been extremely impressive in practice. He's been extremely impressive on Monday nights, and before and he hasn't been over here very long. So, I tell him all the time, Friday night's a little bit different. We don't have plays to waste. So
that's
we get him caught up on things, but. He brings a whole lot to the table, and certainly going to be one of the guys that is in the thick of this thing before his career is over. Very, very excited about what we have in him.
When you're out there defensively, what do you see? When Ruston walks up to the line of scrimmage, what are you looking for?
And they're going to line up and they're going to come right at you, and they're going to continue to come right at you.
Which any game you've seen, that's what you.
They're big and they're big and long out on the edge, and so they're also going to take their shots with some one-on-one, out there at receiver when they're not afraid to dial it up and go over the top of you. But they're going to play very, very physical. They're going to run downhill and try and knock you off the ball, and they're going to stay committed to it. I mean, they're going to wear on you, and those, same thing, same approach, we try on our side is those runs that are only 2 and 3 in the first quarter. It's amazing what
they're 7 and 8,
and they just begin to wear over time, and they're committed to that.
Right. You talked about a lot of things that have been keys. Moving Mingo to the defensive side of the ball, in addition to the offense, has allowed for more things to happen. You got Lewis that comes up and plays well. Blackwell, you see what he does. But the coverage of Mingo, the Bennett kid, and from a couple of years ago, that was such a good cover corner, is what I see a lot out of Mingo out there on corner.
Got a lot of confidence in him wherever you put him. His football IQ is just so high. He understands it. You can, have conversations, and he's on the same page as if he's, in the coach's office having a conversation amongst coaches. So, there's really nothing that the kid can't do as far as the skill spots, and just felt like we needed some depth over there, and with some of the things that we have going on offense, and the personnel that we have, thought that served our football team best. And it's not that he's not going to continue to play some situational offense, but right now he's over there
and does a tremendous job over there. Didn't see Jimmy as much defensively. Of course, you got some guys back, and so that was able to keep him fresh on the other side of it. I wanted to go back real quick. I don't know if you heard the conversation when Bodie was up here.
I did not.
Or not. So we asked him, what's a week like? And he said the coaches go after him and say, look, watch this film and tell us where you want to kick it. He said he doesn't practice a lot of the things that he does. He watches a lot of film. And I was like, that don't make sense to me. He's a kicker. And but anybody that's seen, and I say that tongue-in-cheekly, anybody that's watched this program, those guys take that craft so seriously.
Yeah, no doubt. Channing, I saw rolling here. I mean, we're blessed. The
got
job,
a freshman that's kicking the ball well
Eli's
too.
Awesome. The job that Coach Sons does in the soccer program is, we've always been able to, pull some kickers, and I mean, it's just such a weapon in this game, and so we certainly feel really good about those guys. And
Bodie plays center back in soccer.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm just I learned that tonight.
I don't know many of the I
didn't know
a lot
it,
of
but
that.
oddly enough, it's the center of the field and back towards the back. It's like, well, that makes sense.
I know
then.
Coach Sons does a great job, and man, we've had some really good ones for us.
Oh, absolutely.
In soccer, you play two deep safeties basically.
I got you.
Two center backs. But the one thing that Bodie did say before we got on there was he said one of the positives about playing football and soccer was that the weightlifting in football. So when he gets on the soccer field, that gives him an advantage.
Yeah, I hope so. I believe in, that's something we've taken pride in through the years, is the physical development of our kids, regardless of where they're, what their ceiling is. You want all your kids to, bumping their ceiling by the time they're graduating. That's how you win, and that's how you develop a program, is you develop them all. And so that excites me to hear that he understands the value that it brings for him personally in his overall athletic development, because that can be a touchy point with all that, and that's just I want it to be a priority year round in every program, because we do. A lot of our kids are multi-sport kids, and sometimes you get focused in on sport-specific stuff in season, but you cannot neglect the athletic development of all of it. And so for Bodie to say that certainly is encouraging and exciting for me to hear.
Well, Coach, I think we've wrapped up everything that we can talk about tonight. It is time to get this thing to about till 7 o'clock tomorrow. We will go live on the air from Ruston, Louisiana at 6:30 tomorrow evening, and great facility. Come up there. We invite you to come up, dude. Don't stay home and watch the game. Come up there, make the trip up 165 into Ruston, or 167, I guess, if you're going to Ruston. I go 165. We might be a little, we might be late
trip.
getting
You can't get there. You're just going to have to get on 20.
Yeah.
Brett and I'll get him there. We'll get him there.
Look, I was coming back from Hammond yesterday, and when I left there, it said 2.5 hours to home, and I take the exit. I'm following Waze. Next thing it says 3 hours home. I'm like, this is not good. So had to get off. I was on the causeway somehow. Had gotten there, and don't know. I was almost in New Orleans, I think. I was like, this is really not the way that I wanted to go. So it's a good thing on these trips. I sit over there and prepare for these games.
Go.
So normally sleep. But yeah, what a
hey, whatever it takes.
That's exactly right, Coach. Again, as always, thank you for opening up your program to us. There's not a place that we'd rather be on Thursday nights than out here at Walk-Ons with you.
I love it.
There you go. From my man Nick Magnano, Coach Thomas Bachman, I am Doug Gann. We'll see you tomorrow night at 6:30. God bless you all and good night.